Deciding to get divorced when you have children is a decision that is very overwhelming and difficult for most parents and often takes years just to even get to that point. And then now you're in a situation where you're basically starting a whole new chapter of how do I even go about this process of getting divorced? And unfortunately, the litigation process is not really set up to help support families in restructuring in an amicable way that is affordable and creates a better outcome for their children. I got into this line of work. I'm a Florida Supreme Court certified family mediator and got into this line of work so that I can help families try to get through this process as unscathed as possible with their life savings still intact, with being able to sit next to each other on the sidelines at a soccer game with their kids, and really putting their children first. I think, it's my sincere belief really at the end of the day that most parents can sit down and have rational conversations, can resolve their issues if they have somebody to guide them through that process who is not trying to stoke conflict along the way. At the end of the day, my mission is to help prevent as much trauma for children as possible through the work that I do with their parents. I'm trying to teach parents how to talk to each other again in a more respectful, professional manner as we go through our process, so that ultimately they're able to co-parent in a more effective manner once they are done with the divorce process. Time and time again, you see the actual divorce process itself create more conflict for the parents and actually make the co-parenting relationship worse. And a lot of times whatever was not broken at the beginning of the process is certainly broken by the end of it. So, as a mediator, I take my role very seriously. I think there's a lot of opportunity in mediation for us to work together and figure out how to make progress, how to not see each other as enemies, but rather to work together as one team to do what's best for your children, and find solutions to complicated problems. I think what a lot of people don't understand about court is that the judge is limited in what they can do. They have statutes and rules they can't necessarily deviate from, and often there are options that would benefit both parents much more if we simply took the time in mediation to really think through different angles and find the best alternative that works for both people. That's something that we can do in mediation that you really can't do in court. So for me, this work is my passion. It's, I do this work because I genuinely care about the outcome for my families. The parenting plan for me is that guiding document that can really set your children up for success, and to have a really positive outcome after divorce. I ask every single parent that I work with at the beginning, what is your goal at the end of the day when your child is 25 years old and sitting at having drinks with their friends and hanging out, and their friend says, hey, didn't your parents get divorced when you were 12? And child says, yeah, they did. What do you want the rest of that sentence to say? Do you want them to say it was the worst thing that ever happened to them and it ruined their life? Or do you want them to say, what, yeah, they did, but they really got through it and pretty well, and it was never an issue. There was no drama. It's that mindset of trying to find whatever the most amicable route is that you two are capable of finding. And focusing on that rather than focusing on what you can take from each other. Because I think that's really where this adversarial litigation system is destroying families, quite frankly. It really is. You got two people who couldn't make the relationship work, and that's okay. But we can have a different kind of relationship now, one that's based in, mutual respect, that's professional, that focuses on, our mutual business, which is the children, right? And work together. You don't have to hate each other after a divorce, and you certainly don't have to lose everything that you've worked your whole life to build fighting each other. And that's what I offer. I offer an alternative option. I offer another path. I offer a solution for parents who want to be amicable, who want to find a way to get along, who want to get through this without losing everything they have, or feeling like they've completely traumatized their children. That's what I offer, and I do free consultations, so I'm always happy to talk to you and see if, even if I'm not a fit, if there's someone else I can get you connected with who might be a better fit for your dynamics. But I really care about this work that I'm doing. I want to make a difference. I want to look back on my life when I'm 75 and say, you know what? I really did something good in this world. And if you're that type of family who's trying to get through this as unscathed as possible and with the most positive outcome for your children, then it would be an absolute privilege to work with you.